Hello, Daryl.
Hello, boys. Welcome back, Ken.
Thank you very much for your kindness. Do you put the loss more on the defense or Kevin Stefanski?
Well, I actually put it equally on both of them.
First come on. You got to pick a side.
No, the defense has to get that stop there, but also at the same time, when your last drive lasted a whopping 11 seconds and you only picked up one first down offensively in the fourth quarter, I can understand why the defense is out of gas. But if you want to be an elite defense, you got to get that stop at the end of the game. There's no question about that. They didn't get the stop. You allowed a beat up and injured Carson Wentz to walk right down the field 80 yards. You blew a coverage. I tip my hat to Denzel Ward for taking accountability for that after the game. But the bottom line is you cannot allow a game-winning 80-yard drive at the gun, regardless of how inept your coaching and your offense is.
Well, okay. What did you think of the timeout situation and the management of the game in the final 5 or so minutes?
I thought that the management of the game, that's what gets you fired. I mean, Kevin Stefanski blew that. As much as I respect Kevin, I got to call it the way I see it, and he did not handle the final 5 minutes of that game, at least from my point of view, the way it needed to be handled. First of all, of course, 3rd and 11, I get you throw it, you're trying to get the first down, but when the Vikings stack the box on 1st and 2nd down and you don't hand the ball to the guy that has 110 yards rushing in that situation, I don't get that. I'm not understanding right now the fascination with Jerome Ford. He's not giving you much, and they keep using him in these select spots, and he's not producing. Quinshon Judkins, you give him the ball, he's good for 5 yards. His legs keep churning even when he's being stood up by defenses. But I think Kevin Stefanski did a poor job late in that game. Very disappointing. And again, it's management of games like that you should win that ultimately can lead to you getting fired.
Well, I was going to accuse you of making excuses for him. I was ready to. Yeah, I wanted to. And then you said what you said there at the end.
No, I'm not making excuses for him. I mean, that is the second game this year that they should have won. Granted, it's the first one they should have won had there been some better coaching at the end of the game. But, they've given away 2 games this year. And when you're a bad football team like the Cleveland Browns already are, you can't afford to give away games. And that's twice in 5 weeks that they've given games away. And they should be 3-2 right now. And they're not. They're 1-4, and their season's flushed.
Well, season is flushed. That does kind of bring us to, where we're at, the kind of crossroads you're at, because Dillon Gabriel, and we'll get into your appraisal of his overall performance, but, are you giving them no shot to win in Pittsburgh because of the history? Because Vegas actually is giving you a decent shot.
I've already written them down for 1-5. They don't play well in Pittsburgh. They never have. They have not won a regular season game there since, I think, 2003.
Yeah, that was it.
So, yeah, and that's the only game that they've won there outside of the COVID playoff game. So, no, I have zero faith that they're going to Pittsburgh with Dillon Gabriel and this offense and beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. None. What do I have to cling to on that?
Not much.
I mean, you changed your quarterback and you scored 17 points. The whole point in changing the quarterback was you're supposed to score more. You're supposed to be more proficient, prolific, more explosive plays. Saw none of that yesterday. So I saw game management. I saw playing not to lose. Well, guess what? You played not to lose, and you still lost. So congratulations on your quarterback change. Really, the only thing Browns fan has to look forward to now is when do we get to see Shedeur Sanders?
Oh, Ian Rappaport had that story. Did you like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was saying exactly what I've been saying for weeks, and that is they don't want to put him on the field until they believe that he's in a position to be successful. They don't want to set him up to fail, and they shouldn't. But like the way that game was managed yesterday by Kevin Stefanski, it was he wanted Dillon Gabriel to manage that game, and he didn't want Dillon Gabriel to go out and win that game. And, well, you got what you got. You got another 17-point performance. They've scored. I posted on X last night. I looked it up. Not only are they 4-18 in their last 22 games, guys, they have failed to score 17 points in all but 3 of them. And here I thought Kevin Stefanski was this offensive wizard, right? I mean, that's his calling card. He's not a defensive coach. He's an offensive coach. And this offense can't do squat.
Boy,
they can't score.
Yeah, Daryl, when you put it like that, and you really try to think, because I'll say it, this show has definitely defended him more often than not. And
I've defended him more often than not.
Well, I mean, we felt like we had the reasons to do it. But
right.
Those numbers that you just rolled off, and everybody is now, paying attention. That was your one game in a standalone window all year for the country to see your team. And I think the verdict is in now that you can't any longer call Stefanski an offensive coach that gives you a decided edge. I think that's gone. Now, maybe some people say, well, he never did that. Well, I disagree. I could go back, but that doesn't matter today. Today, no longer, like, the things we say about Shanahan, about Peyton, about McVay, we have these offensive... The coach you just went up against yesterday, I mean, they were playing a backup quarterback who was limited and then injured, comes back into the game with a harness on.
By the way, you forgot, Anthony, missing 3 starting offensive linemen. And look, as critical as I am of the offensive situation right now, let's give the defense an equal amount of heat. I was expecting a dominant performance from the defensive line. Yes, I know they got a couple of sacks, but I was expecting domination up front. And this is why you play the games. You can't just look at what's on paper. But what was on paper was this was supposed to be a feast for that defensive line, and it was not. I'm a little disappointed in what I saw from that front 7 yesterday, too.
Well, so all things considered, what did you think of Dylan Gabriel? He had 146 yards throwing before the final Hail Mary possession, so you got some kind of garbage yards at the end there. So he wasn't asked to do much. We use the term composed, passable. What's the best thing you can say about Dylan Gabriel? And then give me the flip side. What's the worst thing?
Well, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't spectacular. He didn't go out and obviously win the game for you, but he didn't lose the game for you. And, for a third-round pick making his first start, oh, by the way, a third-round undersized quarterback as well. On top of that, Kevin Stefanski had a very conservative game plan for him. That was very, very clear. He was not going to ask Dylan Gabriel to do a lot. I do like the fact that Quinshon Judkins was given 23 carries. I think that's become a necessity. You're just going to have to give that guy the football 25 times a game if we're going to have any chance to do anything offensively, because your receivers stink. Okay. Jerry Jeudy might want the ball, but when the ball goes to him, he's not catching it consistently. He's unreliable. You can't have your number one receiver be unreliable. Isaiah Bond is unreliable. He might be fast, but he's unreliable. So you have nothing in this receiving core that's reliable. So I understand why maybe Stefanski was very conservative with it. And Kevin can't come out and say that his receiving core is unreliable. He has to come out and say, we trust those guys. That's why we throw them the ball, things like that. We expect them to make the plays, all those type of things. I don't really expect them to make the plays. So the receiving core is as bad as we thought it was going to be. Gabriel was okay. I love the touchdown to David Njoku. He really threaded the needle between 3 Viking defenders. That was a beautiful throw. The play action on the touchdown, the Fannin was executed with perfection. Fannin was wide open. Easy touchdown there. But I'm hoping as we move forward with Dylan that Kevin Stefanski shows more trust and faith in him and also asks him to do a little more than what he was asked to do yesterday against Minnesota. Because, look, all we kept hearing was how Dylan Gabriel can handle it all. He knows the offense, frontwards, backwards, all that kind of stuff. Well, how about you show us?
Yeah, wait, that's not hard if the offense is just take and dunk and safety valve and roll out to the left. It wasn't exactly a bunch of screenplays. Wasn't exactly much to know there, Daryl.
Yeah, well, that's my point, Anthony, is that we're we were under the impression that, well, Joe was old and slow, so by benching him and putting the young Gabriel in there, that opens up a bunch of things within the playbook, right? Because he's more mobile, he can escape the pressure, he could extend the plays, create some passing lanes so that the height thing really isn't a thing. I think only one batted ball yesterday at the line of scrimmage, so that was good. It almost got picked, but thankfully, the throw ended up out of bounds, and it didn't. But I was a little underwhelmed, if I'm being perfectly honest. Not so much at Dylan Gabriel. I was underwhelmed at just what was called yesterday. It's a very boring offense. The Cleveland Browns are a very boring football team. They have been for the bulk of the return of this franchise. We get 1 or 2 years here and there where they are entertaining. But I said this on the post-game YouTube that I do with Andy Baskin. The frustrating thing for me is I watch the NFL. Everybody else in the league is fun to watch. The Browns are not fun to watch.
I disagree. The Jets are not fun to watch.
Okay, I'll give you the Jets. But 30 of the teams are fun to watch. The games are entertaining. The Browns are not entertaining. This is an entertaining business. So if you're going to be bad, this is a memo to Kevin Stefanski. Okay, this will help you keep your job. If you're going to be bad, which we know you are, you're 1-4, your season's flushed. It's just the march to the gallows at the end of the year now, when figuring out where you get to draft next April, right? If you're going to be that, then let's be fun. Have some fun out there. Do some fun stuff offensively. Let it rip. Instead of this dink and dunk conservative nonsense. Because, again, I was told it's because Joe is old and slow. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's this offense, to be honest with you. Because that's what it looked like to me yesterday. I was expecting a little more trust in Dylan Gabriel than I saw.
Is Jerry Jeudy going to keep it together, or are we getting close to a meltdown there?
I don't know. He already told one reporter to watch the film. When asked about being open.
Maybe the reporter needs to watch the film? I don't know. I just got to ask.
All I know, Ken, is I watched it, and he didn't look open to me. So, now, my definition of being open versus what his, I will acknowledge two completely different things. Very rarely, if ever, will you hear a receiver say, yeah, I wasn't open there. Receivers always think they're open.
I mean, you're right, but he is their number one dude. It's easy enough to blanket him and kind of move on about your offense. See, that's right. That's one of the things that I think is going to frustrate him is that
they have no weapons. They have no weapons. I think Harold Fannin can be a weapon. Another thing I'm mad about yesterday's game, the kid had 4 catches in the first half, caught a touchdown, didn't get another target the rest of the game. Now, on the flip side, it was nice to see the mothballs dusted off David Njoku. That was good to see. 6 catches for almost 70 yards and the touchdown. It was nice to see him.
He had a successful leap. He's had many of those that were nullified in midair. This one, he actually got over the defender.
So, that was nice to see. But, again, it's just so conservative and boring. Like, throw the ball down the field.
Well,
it's a boring offense. They have a boring supporting cast outside of Junkins and Fannin, in my opinion. And it's really frustrating when you give a game away like they did Sunday in London. You went all that way. You had them on the ropes. You're up 17-14 late. Your timeouts are in your pocket. You got opportunity to close this thing out. And your offense can't do squat, and then your defense folds when it matters most. Very, very frustrating if you're a Browns fan.
All right, Daryl. Thank you for the hot time. All the best.
Welcome home, Ken. Aren't you glad to be back?
I am. It's like I never left. They lost against Detroit, and then they lost against the Vikings, and I'm getting comfortable with it.
They're consistent. They're consistent. And you know what? I thought Tyvis Powell had a very good point yesterday. You mentioned you're getting comfortable with it. I really hope the Browns aren't getting comfortable with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We will see, friend. All right, Daryl. Thank you for the time.
You bet, guys. Have a great week. Talk to you later.
The great Daryl Ruiter, brought to you by Scheibman Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.